I was browsing these online forums, okay? And there were some guys that were saying they really enjoyed this video for some particular reason. And that raised a lot of kind of alarm bells for me.
Now, the whole idea for this journey of discovery started with an impromptu visit to my childhood home in Brea, California.
Last time I lived here was over 2 decades ago, so I'm just gonna go ambush him. I want a tour! Hey, what's up? I'm Mark. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I used to live here.
Kinda.
Oh, word got out.
Oh yeah, she's like, yeah, I know you used to live here. You come by here all the time.
So after meeting the whole family, they were kind enough to let me take a walk down memory lane.
Oh my gosh. If these walls could talk, you know? I used to keep my micro machines right in this.
Oh yeah, if these walls could talk, we would hear all the stories. Yeah, this is my bedroom. This is where I used to jack off all the time in my bedroom here. This is in this cupboard.
Little cabinet here.
Yeah,
Up there on the
little cabinet over here. That's where I used to store all my condoms and lube, perhaps.
roof is where me and Scott Glacier used to throw water balloons on.
Yeah. This is that roof that I would come up to. I would come up to this roof whenever I'd be studying engineering, and I would just be like a little like stressed out, you know? So I would just come to this roof, just when I was like really stressed out, just to like kind of like calm my nerves a little bit, you feel what I'm saying?
My sister and her friends sunbathing down here. That's an option for you.
Yeah, so I used to like go up on that roof, and then like I used to like watch my like sisters sunbathe below, actually. You could get a really good view up from up there.
Kids. I also took the chance to confess that all the holes in their metal shed were errant shots from a homemade crossbow I fashioned in 8th grade. There was a target. I wasn't very good at it, apparently.
Yeah, and you see this particular hole over here, actually. I made this hole over here so that I could stick my little 12-year-old pee-pee in there. And then actually what I would do is I would get like one of my friends like go on the other side and like, kind of play around a little bit,
But what made me most happy to hear is how all the neighborhood kids still played out front all the time.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it right out of the gate.
And look, I'm not gonna say it myself, but were there some murmurs that Mark, the long ball legend, wrote?
I mean, I don't know, like, there's just something about this that just feels a little weird. Like, I mean, he's like playing with like a bunch of kids. And like, I don't know, you can see like these parents over here just like staring at him like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Better make sure he doesn't touch any of them.
October had returned. I'm not gonna deny it.
It's just like old times. This is great.
Even at the mound, I was still slinging lasers.
Still got it.
And as invigorating as this was, it did make me question if I missed out on my true calling as a professional wiffle ball player. Because you should know, there are actually professional wiffle ball players. This is Kyle as an 11-year-old. 3 years starting in spring, 8 teams compete in a 4-month season, with players traveling from all over the country. There's a draft, playoff, a World Series, and of course for 14 years, they've tracked every possible stat that is possibly trackable.
Like, I don't know, like if this is just like a group of guys kind of like playing some sort of like fantasy league over here. I don't know what this is. But what I do know is just by looking at some of these guys, clearly they freaking love the za. Yeah, these guys look like they go through a couple grams.
It was time to give these boys a little taste of old school suburban California street ball, because Jimmy Norp's reign on Mount Olympus had come to an end.
And so at this point in the video, he makes a bunch of like gadgets and stuff so that he could come back and like play like or so that he could like perform a lot better against these guys. And he rolls up with a duffel bag, and to be honest, I really don't want to know what's in there. mean, especially with this guy, who knows? But what I do know is that he's probably got a bunch of cash in there so that he can help these guys kind of pay off some of these drug dealers. Because obviously, like, they don't make enough money playing this wiffle ball stuff. Because evidently they probably make zero money from this wiffle ball nonsense. And, you know, Mark Rover over here being a famous engineer, YouTuber guy, I'm sure this is kind of like him kind of helping them out a little bit for putting him in the video. So I suspect we're going to see a handoff to a bunch of drug dealers pretty shortly.
Admiring my new gift to avoid making eye contact with the Norpedo and his tactics of intimidation.
Got a bag of stuff here. Should be a little bit better than last time. Play ball.
The rematch was officially on.
All right, I'm at the mound. Let's go.
And word must have spread because an even larger crowd had gathered to watch.
Yeah, I'm sure he loves this kind of environment with a bunch of kids watching him. Not really too sure what to think about that.
So I volunteered to take over pitching duties. The problem was I had run out of gimmick wiffle balls and gimmick personal pitching machines. But thanks to the power of pneumatics, I hadn't run out of gimmick strike zones, which gave my floater a bit more room to work with. So after getting one out with the generous strike zone, some good old-fashioned hustle got us the second. But with Jimmy at bat and knowing what was at stake, one of their players disconnected the airline, which honestly felt a little...
You know, I'm sure he's got a lot of experience kind of rigging up these kind of contraptions. Because I was talking to his wife, actually, a couple days ago, and she was telling me about, like, how he would take these air pistons, right? And well, I'm sure you know where the rest is going.
Like cheating, but I took the high road and let it slide. This time, I was really out of tricks. It was just me versus Captain Clutch Norp himself, mano a mano. And on my first pitch, I got him on the delayed riser. My second pitch got him with my modified slider. If I was really going to do this, I would need to rely on everything I had learned on this journey of discovery. And that was strike 3.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty impressive that he was able to strike out this professional wiffle ball player. That's very impressive. Hopefully, though, that guy was fully sober. I don't know exactly what time this was filmed, but I don't know. Hopefully it wasn't too far later than 4:20, because I don't know, that guy was probably pretty blitzed or something. I don't know how this guy could strike out such a professional. I don't know.
I had struck out the world's greatest wiffle ball player. And earning that subtle nod of mutual respect from the Norpedo sort of felt like a Michael passing the torch to Kobe type of moment. And down by 1 headed into our final at-bat, it lasted about as long as it took to immediately strike me out again.
That wasn't cool.
Now the game wasn't over yet, but instead of the 2 runs we needed to win, we quickly got 2 outs. But Barron kept our hopes alive with the base hit. And by some absolute miracle, I finally got a real hit.
You see these pieces of paper here with the writing on it? I guarantee you that these kids didn't make that. What I think happened was Mark probably just made this beforehand and then gave it to them to say, like, hey, you know, while we're playing this game, whatever, can you hold up these pieces of paper with the writing on it?
Some absolute miracle, I finally got a real hit, fair and square.
Oh yeah, go Mark!
Which put me and Barron on 2nd and 3rd.
Let's go!
So it all came down to Kyle. And as soon as I saw contact, I knew it wasn't enough to clear the wall. So I started my mad dash with my sights set on home plate. It was a risky move, but I knew it would mean victory for our team. With Jimmy taking the cutoff at second, the gauntlet was thrown. His arm versus my legs. No more tricks. Okay, well maybe just one more trick. With a blast of air at 100 psi, their catcher was nowhere to be found, clearing my triumphant return to that most beautiful of white rubber pentagons.
Yeah, see, when I was talking to Mark's wife, she was actually telling me that this particular kind of a air piston thing here was actually used to shove a butt plug up his asshole. So I don't know about you, but I definitely would not want to stand anywhere near that thing. Can't really imagine what that would really smell like, but it probably smell like shit.
Okay, well maybe just one more trick. With a blast of air at 100 psi, their catcher was nowhere to be found, clearing my triumphant return to that most beautiful of white rubber pentagons.
So yeah, I guess that'll be it for this video. If you could rate this guy's facial hair, that would be pretty sick. I'm not really too sure what's going on here. Gotta respect it, the sideburns and everything.